Hi, I'm Chef, and welcome to another adventure of culture and love. So one thing that my friends know about me is that I love to analyze people and cultures by the MBTI personality tool. So I don't think that Myers-Briggs is a foolproof, end-all be-all way of, telling you who you are at all. No. I don't tend to subscribe to the thought of, things being static. I think they're very much dynamic and relational. Traveling around the world, I've been able to share my adventures in Iceland, Switzerland, and Italy. And now I want to give you a little bit of my thoughts about their personality. So here we go. When I was in Italy, that's actually when I started to think about what is this country's personality. This country has a strong personality. Everywhere where I looked, the interactions that I was having with people, it just felt like, my mind was triggered what kind of MBTI, which one of the 16 personalities am I experiencing culturally in Italy? And I want to share with you my answers. So for Italy, I've got ESTP. That's the entrepreneur personality. But I was talking to the friend of mine, Diane, from Spanish Class with Diane that you saw last episode. And she was telling me her couple of years of living there, she thinks that Italy is an ESFP, which is the entertainer, and I completely agree. I can see how my short-lived experience, my first impression of Italy, specifically Rome, Vatican City, Tuscany, and Florence, really did feel like an ESTP with a well-developed F. So if you're wondering what do all these letters mean, don't worry, let me break it down. E stands for extroverted, S stands for sensory, T stands for thinking, and P stands for perceiving. So E would mean that I sensed the energy, culturally speaking, in Italy and the places that I went to was very much with people. People gave people energy recharge, right? And the S was very much because I observed this attention to the physical details, the senses of a human, meaning how you can smell, see, feel, and hear, and taste things. It's so alive in Italy, right? The music, the art, you can tell that texture and taste was so important in Italy to the extent that it reminded me of an S. So that's ES, and then T is thinking, which personally, I think it's a give and take, it can be T or F. I have observed thinking type personalities, right, those that are labeled T, to be very emotional, because I would say Italians are known for their expressive, emotions. But it's not about whether you're emotional or whether you feel intensely. A lot of thinking type personalities are emotionally intense, but it's about what makes the decision. What is your basis for deciding things? We are gonna go complete this meal with gelato, so we'll see you soon.
That's true.
I definitely think the culture encourages decisions to be made from rationale and logic. So that's my basis for ESTP, P meaning perceiving, and ESFP, right, the one with feeling, is an entertainer, as opposed to the ESTP, which is the entrepreneur. And so, yeah, I think Italian culture tends to have a little blend of both the entrepreneur personality and the entertainer personality. I hope you can read up a little bit more on that and tell me what you think. And if you're Italian, or if you're living in Italy or lived in Italy, let me know what you think. So, for Switzerland, I analyzed Switzerland as an ISTJ personality. So we made it to Switzerland, and I definitely think it's an ISTJ. I love the vibes. Interestingly, I was traveling Switzerland with an ISTJ friend of mine, and she was the person that wanted to go to Switzerland, so it just all made sense. I personally think that this country's culture is the same personality as Eve. Did I tell you that? I think this country is an ISTJ.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I fit here.
Just because it makes sense. And so now I understand, like, ISTJs are extremely responsible. So Switzerland's ISTJ cultural personality was like everywhere. ISTJs are extremely responsible. They are orderly citizens. They are okay being told what to do and don't find authority as controlling, because order is like an agent of peace, right? Like, they're great citizens, they're very orderly, but they're down to earth, very wise, fair, and they tend to be able to push through things. So like if things get tough, because keeping their promise is so important, like their word and how it affects the order of society, it's something they can really see. They are able to just keep on going even like when it's tough. ISTJs are known for their tireless dedication and their practicality. Switzerland also struck me as ISTJ, reminding me of how traditions, rules, standards are upheld very much by the ISTJ personality. So ISTJs are no nonsense. And I think that's shown by like how clean things are. The vibe was really relaxing because things were not chaotic. And so if you find yourself vibing as an ISTJ personality, know that you have a lot of good to bring, and it's probably a really great reason that most of, at least this country's personality population is ISTJ. I think it's the most abundant personality, about 13%. This one was so hard for me. I knew that I really connected with Iceland's culture. I felt so at home as an island girl in Iceland and was surprised at that. But I didn't know personality-wise why I felt so at home. And I think it was the hardest one for me to figure out. This is my answer. Please tell me if you have a better one. I've analyzed my experiences. I've now been to Iceland 3 times, but like for a very short period of time each time, so I do not pretend to be an expert, and I would love your input. Right now, Iceland seems to be an INFP. So I went on Google and I Googled INFP Iceland, or Iceland INFP, and lo and behold, guess what? The overwhelming dominant personality is in Iceland, INFP. INFPs, if you're interested, are like very much known as being the mediator or a healing type personality. INFPs are in touch with nature, the wilderness, not just like nature trimmed and pruned, right? Which would be a difference between Swiss landscapes that I saw and the raw, wild landscapes that I saw in Iceland. INFPs tend to be that lone wanderer. Also, INFPs are very creative. Like, creativity is in the blood of an INFP personality. So I checked that one out too online, and whoa, there is actually a study that was performed to find out why Iceland continues to be one of the world's most creative and innovative countries in the world. I think there are like 7,000 creative companies in this small, fairly isolated island nation of Iceland, and a lot of the attributes found in this study that was performed was the individualistic nature of the country, which is also a characteristic of an INFP, the openness to new experiences, which is very much like an INFP, and the environment. So the inspiration drawn from just everything. I mean, can you imagine Northern Lights being your regular? INFPs tend to be perceived as calm and reserved and shy, but one of the things that people don't really know about an INFP personality from first impressions is just how harmonious, and that's what gives them such a great healing capability when it comes to bringing people together. So if you're an INFP, you should probably really harness that gift that you have for the world of bringing people together. So I hope you enjoyed this cultural personality analysis with me, Chef. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you like and subscribe to my channel and launch my website. You can check it out at shift.org. You can follow me on Instagram at Chef. And yeah, hit the notifications bell on this YouTube channel. Check back again for another episode of Culture and Love. Please let me know what your personality type is if you're interested in sharing, or what you think any of these countries' personality types are. If you agree, if you disagree, what other options do you think there are to consider for Iceland, Italy, and Switzerland? Also, the next episode will be about Southern California culture, kind of talking about crossing the lines and the borders between Southern California and Mexico, Disneyland. There's so much in that episode, so you can look forward to that. And then we're going to look at Barcelona, Spain, and England. There's so much to look forward to. I hope that you were a little more cultured and a little more in awe of love. Stay in awe, and remember, you are awesome.